What's up, y'all? Jacob here. You probably know me from coaching you all the time. I'm also the person that does the programming at the gym, if you weren't aware of that. And I wanted to walk you through our next mesocycle. So the previous mesocycle we did, mesocycle, by the way, means 4-week cycle, which is part of a larger cycle, which we call a macro cycle, which is usually a 12-week cycle. In our case, it is 14 weeks. So we have a 14-week total cycle leading up to the CrossFit Open. There's a lot of reasons I want to participate in the Open and make that the central focus point of programming, mostly to connect our community to a larger community of people doing stuff very similar to us. Also, it's a really nice way to test ourselves. And we don't have to test ourselves. You don't have to participate. But I know that in the past, when I've been a part of gyms and communities, when we prioritized this competition, it does seem to create a nice sense of camaraderie and also more of a focus in training. And it's also measurable results. So this is something that I haven't prioritized the past couple of years, but I've been kind of feeling like I think it'll be a good additional focus. Now I'm just gonna kind of walk through the features of this cycle. And again, I didn't do this before because I was kind of testing the waters to see if I liked the structure, and I really, really liked it. I wanted to explain this to you to create a little bit more sense of ownership. And then also I get a ton of questions every week from people, and specifically other coaches and also members, wondering why it is that we're doing what we're doing. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what that is. This mesocycle that we're entering in right now is identical to the last one. Essentially, there will be a couple of different changes that we're going to make, but ultimately it's going to focus on things like the sumo deadlift, the deadlift, the back squat and front squat, the incline floor press and bench press and things such as that. And the reason for this is this allows for higher load opportunities. So this cycle wouldn't feature something, for example, like an overhead squat or something like a strict press. We want things that are going to increase load. Reason is that creates, obviously, just you get stronger from that, right? So if you have more load on your skeleton, you're going to get stronger from that. Then as we approach our next mesocycle, we'll reduce load opportunities and increase the amount of sport-specific movement, such as the overhead squat and the thruster and push press, which will be take place more of open type workouts. Ollie practice is going to continue to be on Wednesdays, so we're going to continue doing Olympic lifting Wednesdays or weightlifting Wednesdays to focus on the lifts and give them the time that they deserve. And we will be doing 2s this cycle, and then moving forward it'll be 1s, then we'll go back up to 3s in again preparation for the Open. Also seen in the second phase of the strength on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be some speed work. So the speed work is going to take place in movements very similar to the upper body and lower body movements seen on Mondays and Fridays in the strength portion. And that's going to help with force production. Force times mass equals acceleration. So if you're working on accelerating the bar, then it's going to help a whole lot when it goes to your heavy lifts. Also, it allows a lot more loading opportunities without taxing people, right? So it's not going to be as heavy. It's just going to be a lighter percentage, but you're able to really put as much force into that as possible. Then another focus on the second portion of the XT is going to be a gymnastics movement in which we will take it to failure. Failure training is great for hypertrophy or muscle gain, but it also allows you to train some gymnastic skills, and it also helps with volume tolerance, right? So doing really, really high percentage sets, again, helps with things like the CrossFit Open, but for what we're interested in, it is just nice that if you have to go out and help somebody move a whole bunch one day, your lower back has had a little bit of exposure to that, and say your biceps, so it's not going to get totally overwhelmed. Another thing we're going to be focusing on a lot this mesocycle is going to be skill progressions, right? So we're going to start doing a lot of higher level gymnastics in all of our Metcons, specifically on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that way the XT people, so if somebody wanted to drift in between the XT and then the main strength, or say the Metcon cycle, they would be able to do that without being totally thrown off, right? So the movements are going to be somewhat similar in the XT and the Metcon portions, and that's going to be some higher level gymnastics. This is also going to feature a lot more skill progressions, right? So not only are you going to be able to scale down if you need to, it's going to show you the process to which you might get a bar muscle up, get a ring muscle up, get a toes to bar, and what have you. We're also going to try to feature more of a through line throughout our program, right? And during the Metcon portion. So if we're talking about the head position in say a bar muscle up, we're also going to talk about head position in rowing and what have you. to again create more learning opportunities for people, because there's going to be more of the same verbiage around various movements. Okay, and then a big focus is going to be volume tolerance. So you will be sore this cycle. We're going to keep the soreness level to a minimum, but it is going to be a feature, right? Because again, as we approach closer to the open, so like the next mesocycle, and then definitely the one after that, as we get closer and closer, we want to be sore as little as possible. So we're getting our soreness out, so to speak, now, but really, again, that's to develop that base level of volume tolerance. So doing 150 wall balls, say, in a workout wouldn't leave you totally debilitated, maybe mad, but not debilitated sore, because we've built that base level up right now in the off season. This would still be what we call preseason or off season, moving again closer to that. So this is just kind of a little rundown of what we're going now. Warm-ups are going to be the same. Rebuild is basically going to be the same, single limb activities, because that seems to help a lot with health and injury prevention, and then medium rep ranges for muscle building, and also again to help to balance out the other stuff we're doing. So over here in the strength portions, we're going to be doing very, very low rep ranges with very high weight, and then we're going to be doing no weight failure. And then on our rebuild days, we're going to be doing medium repetitions with most of a focus on health and hypertrophy or muscle gain during our rebuilds. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, jacob@pisgahfitness.com. My number is also on the whiteboard. So if you have any questions about programming or why we do what we do, please hit me up. And then if you have any questions, comments, concerns, just shoot me an email or text. Thank you.